Hey guys, I hope you're feeling well. Well, I decided to post a video talking about my recent book that I published, She Fighter, and what got me into writing the book from the first place. So you see, in like these situations when you are bored as hell, you can do a lot of things when you're bored. You can become creative, you can write a book when you are really bored. So I was, as I started the story of She Fighter, I always wanted to write the story, but I did not have the time, and I was waiting for the right time to start writing the book. You see, as I was a kid in school, I wasn't good in school at all, even in writing. And the teacher would tell me, your comprehension or the way you write, like you need to work more on it. But you don't need to be a skilled writer in order to write a book. You see, there's a lot of people who are gonna edit after you. They're called editors, and there's proof of concept. Also, they edit more and make sure that the editor did not make any mistakes. So even if you suck in writing, the only thing is you need to write your story, and they reshape it and write it and make sure the grammar and spelling mistakes are all like done, and then you can publish your book. When it's, even if you're a skilled writer, you need an editor, and all authors know that. So it was 2017 in Ramadan, and if you don't know what's Ramadan, it's a Muslim month where everybody fasts, and usually in this month you technically have a lot of time in the morning and in the evening, before the sun go down, and you can eat, and then life starts exactly after dawn. But I am an early bird. I woke up at 7 or 6 a.m. even in Ramadan, so I had a lot of free time, and I wanted to write a book, but I did not start writing the book because I thought, how can I write a book? I'm not a qualified writer. But what happened is I went online on YouTube, and I started looking for how to write a book for dummies, options on how to write a book, and they actually give you really good advices about, just don't think about it as a book because you're never gonna start, but think about it as an article or a blog or something. Don't think about it as like a whole book. Think about it as like chapter by chapter or page by page. So when I cut it down to page by page, it was easier for me to start writing the book, to take the step to start writing the book. But then once I started writing the book, I realized I'm getting back to the same emotion I was feeling when I was a kid, and it was so hard to continue. So I just dropped my laptop. I'm like, I can't do this, this is too much. And then I realized once I went back there to this same time when I was a kid, and I was suffering from bullying, and I was suffering from just getting good results in school, I started unlocking some memories that I forgot about, and feelings and emotions. And I realized, wow, like if you spend a little time back to your childhood in just in minutes, this memory will pop up again, but it's there, but you forgot about it, but it's there in your mind. And I even remembered the feeling when I got my first cut. I got my first cut, I think it's here or here. I fell on my face, and because I was I was fighting a boy, and I hit him, and I was scared, panicked, started running all the way back. It's all in this story. And I fell on my face, and I cut my lip, and I even remembered the same pain that I remember that I felt at this moment, even though I think I was 6 years old or 7 years old. I can't remember really, but it's just you get back to the same time and emotion. And then it was hard for me to continue the book, so I stopped at chapter 6. Then I said, no, I need to finish the book. But then I got busy again, after Ramadan, life got back to normal. And after this, your life would get back to normal. And then you don't have the time to do the things you wanted to do in the first place. So I was back to the book on and off. I said, I need to finish it. I can't I can't leave any work that is undone. But it took me 3 years to finish the whole book. Also, it took me like a whole 6 months just to understand how authors, work, and how to get the book published. All of these tiny details. I mean, you learn through the process. Definitely, you don't want to jump to the end step before you start writing your book. But let me tell you a little bit about the book, about why you need to get the book, your copy, and why it's going to be inspirational for you. So I mentioned living as a girl in the Middle East, in Jordan. I mentioned all the obstacles, and the gender inequality that you face in that kind of region, which you start question when you're a kid, but you never understand. Like, if you're a girl, you're not allowed to go outside in the street, you stay inside. I'm like, what? What does this mean? Just because I'm born a girl, I have to follow some kind of rules. So I was always questioning, fighting. It did not get to my mind what people were trying to put me in a box since I was a kid, and I was born a fighter. So you're gonna see through these chapters and the book how I was just I was questioning since the beginning, since the moment I was born, until I started to understand who I am, why I'm doing this, and why am I being different.